Why do some nations struggle after independence? While others build stability and growth, Botswana's story stands out. Once considered one of the poorest regions in southern Africa, the country later became known for political stability, economic growth, and strong institutions. To understand why, we must look back to its colonial past and the unusual path that set Botswana apart. Long before European involvement, the region now known as Botswana was home to Tswana-speaking communities. These societies developed organized systems of governance centered around chiefs, councils, and community consultation. Cattle herding, trade routes, and regional diplomacy formed the backbone of the local economy. Authority was structured but participatory, allowing leaders to maintain legitimacy through consensus and accountability. These indigenous systems would later play a crucial role in Botswana's modern governance. In the late 19th century, expanding European imperial interests reached southern Africa. Local leaders sought British protection to prevent territorial expansion from neighboring settler-controlled regions. In 1885, Britain declared the territory the protectorate of Bechuanaland. Unlike many colonies, Bechuanaland was not viewed as a major economic prize. There were no large plantation economies or immediate mineral discoveries attracting settlers. As a result, British administration remained light. Few colonial officials governed vast territories, and local chiefs retained significant authority over internal affairs. What seemed like neglect also meant traditional institutions survived largely intact. Throughout the colonial period, Bechuanaland received little infrastructural investment. Railways connecting regional economies often bypassed the territory. Urban development remained small. Administrative spending was limited. While this slowed modernization, it also avoided widespread land dispossession and forced economic restructuring seen in many other colonies. Local cattle economies continued. Traditional governance structures remained functional. Social trust between leadership and communities persisted. This continuity would later become a powerful advantage. By the mid-20th century, political change swept across Africa. Bechuanaland moved gradually toward self-governance. Because local leadership institutions were already respected and operational, the transition to independence proved relatively smooth. In 1966, Botswana became an independent republic. At independence, the country faced major challenges: few paved roads, limited schools, minimal industry. Yet it possessed something critical: stable leadership structures and public legitimacy. Shortly after independence, significant diamond deposits were discovered. Resource wealth has often destabilized young nations. Botswana's leadership chose a different path. They negotiated structured agreements, invested revenues into public services, and maintained strong financial oversight. Funds supported education expansion, healthcare systems, infrastructure development. Rather than undermining institutions, resource wealth strengthened them. Botswana gradually developed one of Africa's fastest-growing economies during the late 20th century. Botswana's success cannot be explained by one factor alone. Its story reflects a combination of preserved indigenous governance systems, limited colonial disruption, careful post-independence leadership, strategic resource management. History did not guarantee success, but it shaped the conditions that made stability possible. Botswana's path reminds us that development often begins long before independence. Botswana's journey from protectorate to stable nation shows how historical structures shape modern outcomes. Understanding this story helps us see Africa's history with greater depth and nuance. Subscribe to Asire Indeed for more African untold histories.